And I would dare say that it has been, for me, very, very challenging to watch the attack on Marylanders. And I would dare say it that way when I think, for example, about the witch hunt against our federal employees and against those who are the true patriots of our country. Their work is designed, many of them have worked for decades in the federal government, and they are there not to serve Republican presidents or Democratic presidents. They're there to serve the American people. That is what they have been proud of, and they serve no matter who the president is. I think about the people who benefit from the funding of the federal government. Right before I got here today, I spent some part of this afternoon at Walter Reed, and I was able to walk around and to see the incredible work they do on behalf of the heroes who serve our country and who are injured in combat. Well, I want you to know that these professionals who have superb knowledge and experience that I have to tell you is not easy to replace. Well, those people, are, as you know, are being summarily let go. Some of them, that the funding, critical funding that is necessary to fund the research that they do, well, that funding is also really in peril. So this has been really devastating to watch. Those professionals who are anywhere from the Weather Service, and because I am also really lucky, my constituents walk the halls of the Capitol, unlike other senators whose constituents can't get to them quite as easily. It has been really devastating because I interface with my constituents after they have lost their jobs. I'm often going to that subway underneath, and my constituents line the halls and say, you know, I just wanted to come down and let you know it happened to me today too. These are people who have been statisticians, for example, at the Department of Education, which incidentally helps you understand why they're being fired. The people who keep the critical information that tells us where the funding should go. The people who are in the Office of Civil Rights in the Department of Education. These are the people who are being let go every day, who perform absolutely critical services on behalf of the American people, and they're being let go. There was one young man, and I will never forget interfacing with him. He was let go. He's a younger man. He had a backpack on, and he literally left his office, came directly to mine and said, you know, my senator's going to want to know what just happened to me. And he was absolutely right. I did want to know what happened to him. But even more importantly, it is what is happening to Marylanders and to the American people when those services, when you suddenly call to check on your Social Security check and discover that there's no person to answer the phone. This is the kind of thing that we are beginning to hear, is that the impact of it is actually reaching the people. And it's not just the patriots who have worked in our government who have been impacted, it's also federal funding that has been frozen and cut off. We had $330 million worth of transportation and infrastructure dollars that had been previously approved for the state of Maryland to fund our project all across the state, and that funding was frozen. And so we've been working diligently. We're finding that some of it is now thawing and unfreezing so that we can get it where it needs to be. But we're also seeing tremendous cuts across Maryland. NIH, we think about Johns Hopkins. And again, this is work that is apolitical work. This is work that is life-saving work. Work that is dedicated to Alzheimer's and to cancer research and to so many other kinds of research that are necessary. We see cuts at NASA and other places that will certainly impact us as a country for the foreseeable future. So those cuts are happening at the same time. And then freezing again, you know, so callous are the efforts of this administration, that they cut off the funding for some of the SNAP benefits, and we saw also many of the other cuts, and we had to call in, and they froze the portal for many of our programs, and we had to call in and try to get some of them unfrozen. So the point I want to make, however, is this. We're absolutely going to make it through this time. And as I look out at what the attacks are, I think it's all with one objective in mind, and this is the very sad and very direct reality, is the billionaires are looting the government. That's really what this is all about, is the billionaires have run amok. For those who say, you know, the administration wants us to believe that the cuts are designed because, the greatest fallacy of all, because the people in the government are incompetent, because they are lazy and shiftless. Well, if you want to see incompetent, you know, I have been sitting in these hearing rooms and had the unfortunate distinction of having to question some of the nominees who have come before us, and it's been like a Saturday Night Live skit. I just can't believe it. You know, some of the people people will come there, I'm thinking, what on earth, where did they find some of these people? I think about a guy who came before us for Environmental Protection Agency to be confirmed as general counsel. This is an agency that oversees 300 lawyers. And the direct question was, sir, well, how long have you been licensed as a lawyer? He said, 4 years. And they said, oh, really? Well, during that time, have you ever taken a case to decision? Have you ever tried? He said, no, he had not. Have you ever handled a deposition? I've not. Do you know what a motion in limine is? He said, well, I don't know, kind of. And they said, well, sir, you have practiced for how long? He said, 1.5 years. And they said, and following that time, you were terminated. Is that correct? He said, it is. I thought, this is unserious. These people who they are sending before us, and so how insulting it is to terminate the people who are experienced and well qualified in exchange for the people who are leading them, people like the people who have come before me. You all also saw, bless his heart, RFK Jr., who could not tell us really the real distinction between Medicare and Medicaid. And so this is the caliber of person that they're sending forward, and it is a real problem for all of us. Legislatively, we're working. We're thankful that we still have a judicial system that we're going to have to protect with everything that we have. The separation of government is going to be critically important, that we demand that the rule of law be respected, because those lawsuits are seeing some success. And then the people, the voices of the people is very, very important. You know, the president, I'll give you one example and I'll sit down, you know, the tariffs. We know that these tariffs are catastrophic for our economy. We know this as a matter of fact. All the economists have told us that we're racing toward a recession. And so he imposed his tariffs, and then he came out with the bravado that is, you know, him, classic him. And he said, well, you know, I'm going to pause my tariffs because people are calling me, and as he put it, pardon my language, he said, because they're kissing my ass. That's what he told us. Well, the truth was that they were kicking his ass, and that's the reason that we needed to pause, because he got information about the way that this was impacting our country.